Hello and welcome to the Lorna Marie Fitness Podcast, the show where we talk all things fitness, health, mindset and lifestyle to help you become fitter, healthier and happier. I help busy people who lack time, motivation and self-belief to look and feel great again. If you want to work with me, head over to lornamariefitness.co.uk, but for now, enjoy this episode.
Good morning everyone, welcome to the Q&A live. We've just finished doing Sculpt and that was an amazing workout. So the objectives were to get really sweaty, to work strength using body weight, to work our cardio fitness, get sweaty, lift the heart rate, to work our balance and work our core strength, all without jumping, all within 30 minutes. And we accomplished everything. We achieved it all. So for everyone who came to the live, it was so good to see you this morning. Energy was right up there. Well done. And if you haven't done it, don't worry, I'll be uploading it to on demand so you could do it later today or this evening or tomorrow. Don't forget, tomorrow is our social. It's not too late to come if you want to come. And we've got an online class before that as well. We're doing cycle. But it'd be lovely to see you there. And bring your friends. You get a free coffee for bringing a friend. So bring a friend. We love free coffee. And finally, don't forget that it's Bring a Friend Week next week. So any friends that you've got in your friendship group, or even family members or neighbours that you think would benefit from what we do, or maybe have asked about it in the past or said, oh, that sounds really good. Now's the opportunity. Bring a friend for a week. They can do whatever live they want to do for free. And if you're listening to this on the podcast and you're not a member, then I can be your friend. Message me. You come to as little or as much as you like next week. I've made a little WhatsApp group where I'm just going to be sharing all the information about each class and sharing the links in there. So let me know. And members, don't remember, prize draw. Have you seen what you win yet? Check your emails. Okay, let's get straight into the Q&A. Fabulous questions as always. We'll start from the very beginning. Question number 1. And by the way, if you have any questions in the meantime, just pop them into the comments. I'll be keeping an eye on those just in case you've got any questions, any further questions, or want me to go into something a little bit deeper. Hey Lorna, so I noticed that obviously my fitness levels have improved. Certain classes that I did at the beginning and struggled to finish was really out of breath, I can do for fun now, and I'm not even out of breath. I noticed that my zone minutes aren't as high as at the beginning. Is this just a sign that my body is fitter and doesn't have to put the same amount of effort it did in at the beginning of the journey? I hope that makes sense. Of course it makes sense. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. So your body is now not only fitter, but it's more efficient. Your heart is better at pumping blood around your body, and your muscles have become more efficient at using oxygen. So therefore, your heart rate is going to be lower. Your heart is more efficient. Your fitness has improved. And this is a really, really good sign. So if you're listening to this and you're not sure what the zone minutes are, it's basically when you're working at a higher intensity. So you're doing a workout, not necessarily like right in the zone 5 or whatever, but your heart rate is up. And I wouldn't be concerned about this. I would just say if you're not sure if you're doing enough anymore, just make sure you're including, say, a workout or 2 that is more high intensity a week. So I'm in a similar predicament sometimes when I do a workout and my zone minutes, if you like, aren't as high. But I know that's because I do a lot of fitness and my heart is efficient and my muscles are efficient at using oxygen. And it's a good sign. Your resting heart rate will probably be lower too along with that, which is also a good sign. So it's not a concern. I would just go with the guidelines that you want to be doing 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 of vigorous, or somewhere sort of in between there. And as long as you're hitting those markers, I don't think there's anything to be concerned about at all. But I just want to say well done. That's brilliant. There's nothing more to say on that one other than you're smashing it. Keep going. Question number 2. How can we aid digestion on holiday? So I feel like we've all been on holiday and found that we either can't go to the toilet or it goes the other way, right? And this is because of so many factors. It can be because of dehydration from travel, or maybe if you're going to a hotter country, dehydration through loss of water through sweat, or maybe you're drinking more alcohol. It can be due to the types of food. So maybe you're having foods that are saltier, maybe they're richer, maybe they're high in fat. It can be a lack of routine. So our bodies like routine. We as human beings love routine, right? We get up at the same time and we go to bed at the same time, or we should be, for sleep consistency and maximal quality sleep. But anyway, our bodies like routine, don't they? So when we go on holidays, we're thrown out of routine, we're eating different foods, we're probably a bit dehydrated, the time zones could be out depending on where you're going, and also it can be a stressful experience, particularly if you're taking little ones or kids, or you've got a big family or there's lots of deadlines that you've got to hit. It can be quite stressful sometimes going on holiday, so stress can play a part too. So these are just some basic things that you can do to improve your digestion when you go away. But if you do find that it's completely thrown out, just know as well that that's normal and it's okay. So the first thing I would say is prioritize staying hydrated. Just keeping a bottle of water with you wherever you go, when you go out on day trips, if you're on the beach, when you're traveling, just keep drinking, stay hydrated. Dehydration slows your digestion down, and it could make you basically constipated. So just keep really hydrated. I would also say, think about eating foods that are rich in fiber. Equally, I wouldn't go overboard with that and completely change that compared to what you do at home, because that can send things the other way, and making sure that you're having water with that as well, just to aid digestion. So fiber-rich foods, maybe trying to keep similar-ish to what you eat at home. Sometimes when we tend to go away on holiday, it's really exciting to try new things, don't get me wrong, but then we tend to go all out, right? It's sometimes better to keep consistent-ish with, say, your breakfast and your lunch. You're having something that's pretty similar to what you would at home, and then maybe dinner's a little bit different. So just minimalizing the differences. Just allow your body to break into a new routine and eating different foods. And if you are concerned, why not take some snacks from home? It's something I always do, because sometimes, if I want my favourite cereal bar and it's not in the foreign supermarket, what am I going to do? And, you might get peckish at night and then all the restaurants are shut. So I always take snacks in my suitcase. You might find that weird, or maybe you do it as well. Let me know in the comments. Do you take snacks on holiday? But I always do. And that also helps with digestion, because again, it's keeping those similarities in the diet. And another thing you can do is a little bit of physical activity, gentle physical activity to aid digestion. That might be an online yoga in the room, or Pilates, or meditation, or it might be a gentle swim or a walk down the beach. These are all things that help, and also will help towards stress management, which is another thing you've got to think about. Managing your stress while you're away. You're on holiday, it's time to relax, it's time to chill. A little bit of gentle exercise can also help with that too. And finally, probiotics can help too. So they're the things that have the beneficial bacteria in them. You're looking at fermented foods, you're looking at probiotic yogurts and things like that, just to help our tummies feel happy. I hope that's useful, but let me know if you pack snacks. I want to know now. Okay, next up, question number 3. I've just got rid of the questions. That's not helpful, is it? Question number 3. Do you have any protein powder recommendations? I don't know where to start. Hey, I totally feel you on this one. There's so much information out there, and it can be so mind-blowingly confusing. Just know it doesn't have to be confusing. So I'm just going to go through what you need in terms of protein, and then I'm going to tell you about the different types and kind of pros and cons, if you like. So the protein requirements for your body. Generally, you need about 0.8 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. That's as a minimum. But if you're an active person, you're menopausal, or you're looking to maintain lean muscle, or you're on a fat loss journey, I would up that. I would say around about 1.5, ideally 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So work that out for you. Just get your phone calculator, work it out. And then I would space it throughout the day, because our body can only absorb so much protein at a time. Depending on the person, depending on how big you are, depending on your metabolism, it's roughly about 25 grams per sitting. So you want to think about spacing it out through the day. And the easiest way to do that is just base every meal around a protein source. So think about breakfast. What could be high in protein at breakfast? Greek yogurt, which we'll come on to later. It might be eggs. It might be tofu scramble. It might be protein mixed in with some porridge. Whatever it is, think about it at each meal and space it out throughout the day. So then you know your body is getting a constant stream of protein, which is the most efficient way for your body to take it in. Also, I want you to think about protein mainly coming from whole foods in your diet. Protein powder is great if you struggle to hit your protein requirements. It is always beneficial and better to get it from your diet if you can. If you're just using it as a supplement to your diet already, fantastic, that's great. And that is also, say, how I would use it as well. I tend to mix my protein in with my porridge in the morning, or I might get some plain yogurt and mix a scoop of protein in. If you just make sure it's all mixed in, sometimes it's quite a nice fluffy pudding, fluffy dessert. It is quite tasty. Just make sure you get a nice flavour. So getting protein from your diet from whole foods is always better. It's always superior. But if you're going to go for a protein powder to supplement your diet, or because you struggle to hit your protein requirements, absolutely fine. There's whey protein. That is probably it's the best in terms of fast digesting. So your body can digest that the best. It's an animal source of protein, and it's seen as a complete protein. So it's got all your essential amino acids in. That can come in two forms. So you might see whey concentrate, whey isolate. It doesn't really matter which one you want to go for. Whey isolate has been through a little bit more processing, and some people find it easier digestible. So sometimes you might find that whey protein doesn't sit nicely on your stomach. If you can try isolate, or sometimes you might be fine with it. Just see how you get on. So whey is probably number one. Number two, you've got vegetarian sources, like you have your pea protein or you have your soy protein. The body can't digest this as efficiently as animal sourced protein, so just bear that in mind. But if you are it's not even vegetarian, vegan, sorry. Vegetarians can have whey as well. So yeah, vegan source, pea or soy. And another type is casein, and that is the slow release one that some people like to take before bedtime. So they're the three main ones. If you are not a vegan, and if you are not lactose intolerant, I would go with whey, because it's the fastest digesting and it's also the cheapest, and it just does the job. You can get whey protein from anywhere. You don't need to get anything with any extra fancy things in if you're just looking for protein as a protein source to supplement your diet. My protein is great. It's cost effective. I'm not in any way affiliated with My Protein, but it is good. Another one, you could just go on Amazon. I went on Amazon recently and I got this protein called Warrior. I think it's chocolate brownie flavour, but that's really nice in my porridge at the moment. So it doesn't matter which type you go for, but that's what you need to take into consideration. And also take into consideration the flavour, get one you like, the cost of it. It doesn't need to be super expensive, and maybe try a few different things and see what you like and see what's best for you. So I hope that was useful. Okay, next up, is it possible to overdo exercise, and how do you protect your joints? I've got a family history of arthritis. My mother had hip replacements when she was not much older than I am now, and my sister, 3 years younger than me, has already had both knees replaced. One of my hips gives me some trouble, but so far seems to be improving through careful strength classes and yoga. So firstly, I'm really glad to hear that your hip is improving. You're doing all the right things. And yes, it is possible to overdo exercise. So with arthritis, overdoing exercise can create extra inflammation in the joints, which doesn't feel nice, it doesn't feel great, and also it can contribute towards extra joint strain. But we all know that doing exercise is so important for arthritis, and actually not doing exercise makes arthritis worse. So it's about finding that fine balance. And this is where you've just got to be so in tune with you and your own body. There is no one size fits all. You've just got to work out what is the difference here between pain, where it's like, ow, this is really hurting, versus discomfort. And we get to know our bodies, don't we? We get to know our bodies and what feels good and what really, okay, I need to stop doing that right now because there's something going on here. And also see how you feel the next day. But the best things you can do, you're doing all the right things with cross training, so mixing up your workouts. You need to be doing that, a mixture of cardio, strength, holistic. Everyone needs to be doing that anyway, but you're doing the right thing for your arthritis here. Also working strength. So strength work is going to help improve your muscle strength, which is going to create better stability for your joints as well. It's going to basically help protect your joints. So keep on doing muscle strength work. And obviously you might need to adjust depending on where your arthritis is. I know you said here it's in your hip, but I'm just thinking of other people who might have it in their wrists and things like that. You may need to adjust things like how you hold your weights, but strength training is really beneficial. And then mobilizing, yoga, Pilates, doing a lot of mobility work. And again, as you said, being very careful with it. Other things is just rest and recovery. So we're working our bodies, but it's also important to allow them to rest and allow the inflammation to reduce too. And how much rest you need, how long is a piece of string? It just really depends on your body. So maybe keep a bit of a diary and keep a track on what you've done and how it felt and how it feels the next day. And just keep doing what you're doing. Strength, mobility, rest and recovery, being in tune with your body, knowing what's good pain and what's discomfort. No, what's discomfort and what's bad pain. That's what I meant to say. Question number 5. Can I rely on my watch to track me properly? I don't know if it's accurate or not. Yeah, these things aren't accurate. The technology is definitely improving. It's definitely getting there. But there are so many things that could lead it to inaccuracies. Like, for example, the placement. Where are you putting your tracker? Is it on your wrist? How tight is it on your wrist? Whereabouts is it on your wrist? Is it too tight on the wrist? It depends on the actual device, the quality of the equipment you're using, the quality of your watch. It depends on the algorithms they're using to look at that sensory data, to work the sensory data out. Maybe your watch needs calibrating again, maybe the battery life is pretty low. There's so many things that could lead to inaccuracies. They tend to be pretty good at tracking your heart rate and your step count. They tend to be pretty good for those things. And they're better at tracking things like running or walking as opposed to cycling and as opposed to swimming. Like I said, the technology is getting there, but I would not rely on it as an accurate source of information. It can be good as a tool for comparison. So looking at your workouts from past weeks, looking at your effort levels. But again, sometimes it doesn't always accurately pick it up. So take it with a pinch of salt sometimes. So it can be good for that, working out comparisons, looking at data from what you've done in the past. And some people really find it quite motivational to have that data there as well. So it can be a really useful tool, but also it's not useful when you're over relying on it. Another thing that it's not great at tracking, and a lot of people do this, they track it for their calories. It cannot tell you what you have burnt. You are not in an oxygen chamber and someone is not seeing how much carbon dioxide is coming off you. It is not accurate for that. Sorry, just one moment. My brightness has gone down on my computer and now I can't see. Okay, I can see again. That was really random. It like went black. I was like, okay, but we're back now. I can see. So it's not accurate for calories. So what a lot of people do is to say, oh, that class burnt 300 calories. Oh, that means I can have this thing for 300 calories. And the accuracies are just not there. You can't eat back the calories you burn, and also you don't know. So it's not as a useful tool for calorie burn. And the jury's out there with sleep as well. They're not amazing at the moment, or debatable, amazing at the moment for detecting your sleep. As I said, technology is getting there and it is getting better, but it's not quite there yet. So don't rely on it. Use it if you find it useful, but just know that it's not always very accurate, particularly for things like tracking sleep, calories, and depending on your watch, maybe things like swimming and cycling. Some watchers are okay at doing that, but other ones not so much. Question number 6. If you're going to buy weights, what type is best to start with as a beginner? It depends. It really depends, because one person's idea of beginner won't be another person's, and some beginners might be stronger than others. So it just depends. We have an area on the website that says, I think it says equipment needed or equipment suggested, something along those lines. It's on the homepage. Click on there, and I've put some suggestions in there. That's a great place to start. So there is no exact weight that I could give you. So I would go on to the website, have a look at those. And I would say if you're looking at improving strength, barbells are amazing. Look at the barbells that we put on there. Hand weights are good. They are really good and they have their purpose. But with a barbell, you're going to be able to lift heavier, and you can always use the plates as hand weights as well, depending on which ones you get. But the ones that I suggested, you can. Okay, next question. What is the difference between Greek and Greek style yogurt, please? And why should we be avoiding the Greek style yogurt? So Greek style yogurt basically mimics the texture and the flavors of Greek yogurt. It's its fake friend. Now, Greek yogurt has been through processes of straining. They strain off the water part, the whey part, and they do this about 3 times over to get that really thick consistency, that creamy consistency that Greek yogurt is known for. But by doing this as well, it means it's a real high source in protein and really low in sugar. So Greek style yogurt should just be the milk from the cow or goat traditionally, and the live bacteria that they use. That's all that should be in there. You might find in the supermarkets now, there might be maybe 1 or 2 other ingredients. Obviously, the fewer ingredients, the better. But that is Greek yogurt. It's high in protein, it's low in sugar, it's been through a straining process to remove the whey about 3 times. And it's also pretty good for people who are lactose intolerant as well. Greek style yogurt is trying to mimic Greek yogurt. It is not generally as high in protein. Generally, it's had a lot of things added to it, like stabilizers, thickeners, flavorings, sweeteners, and the like. So in terms of nutrition value, it's not there. And that's why I always encourage, if you like, a certain Greek style yogurt, it tastes really nice. I'm not saying it's bad for you. I'm saying that Greek yogurt, if you're looking at something that is high in protein, low in sugar, is superior. But that's not to say that Greek style is bad. It's just preferable to get Greek over Greek style. I hope that explains. Next, is it okay to miss breakfast? I never feel like eating as I leave for work so early. I stagger my meals after I get to work. It depends again. If you are someone who has a poor relationship with food, maybe a past with eating disorders or struggling to control your food, or you're an emotional eater, or you find that you have a bit of an all or nothing mindset, so you might skip breakfast, but then you get to 11 and you're just gonna go all out on the biscuits or the nice palatable foods or the foods that are gonna give you the glucose that your body needs because you're having a sugar crash, then it might be beneficial to have breakfast. And it also depends on your journey. So if you are on a journey where you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to maintain lean muscle mass, that might be a window of protein that you've missed. So sometimes even if, say for me, like even if I don't feel hungry, don't feel like eating breakfast, I know that it's beneficial for me being so active that I need to hit that little protein window. So I will have something like, I might have a bit of Greek yogurt with some berries on, or I might have a bit of a smaller portion size if I'm not feeling that hungry. But that's why I do that. It isn't imperative. So if you find that actually you have a good relationship with food, as soon as you said you stagger your meals out when you get to work, as soon as you get to work, you're staggering your meals out, they're all balanced, you're not finding that you're reaching for something super high in sugar because you're having an energy dip or an energy crash, and it all feels pretty balanced, then that's absolutely great. That's absolutely fine to do that. There is no problem with doing that. It just depends on the individual, it depends on the person. So again, if you find that actually you have a lot of cravings and you're not having your breakfast, I would suggest to have breakfast. If you are really looking at maintaining lean muscle mass or you're a really active person, I'd think about, is this a potential protein window that I'm missing? Or you might just want to have a little bit of a later breakfast. Just really focus on what works for you. And also maybe just see how your energy levels feel. You know, do you feel good doing that? Does that work for you? And if it does, great. And if you find that you're having real energy dips and it doesn't necessarily work so well, and you want to try something new, why not just experiment? Why not say, okay, I'm going to give it 30 days to experiment having a small breakfast and see how I get on. So it just really depends, but it doesn't matter as long as you are getting that nourishment into your body and you're getting a good balance. I hope that was useful, everyone. That's it for the Q&A today. If you have any further questions, let me know. Just comment on here, or you can always message me, and I will I'll see you in class tomorrow. Yeah, we've got cycle nice and early, and then we've got the social. And don't forget, it's Bring a Friend week next week. Anyway, team, thank you again for your questions. They were absolutely brilliant. I will see you online. Bye, everyone. Happy Friday.